Please enjoy this uninterrupted conversation as part of our academic integrity series brought to you by Integrity for Education. Integrity for Education supports your institution by unlocking the full potential of digitalization through the right mix of software solutions, strategic consulting, and sustainable implementation of state-of-the-art technologies. Learn more at integrityforeducation.de. That's integrity, the number 4, education.de. Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to ed up on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience, and we are back on another episode of our academic integrity series, sponsored by Integrity for Education. Speaking of which, here's the CEO from Germany, Thomas Fetch. Tell me how you doing today.
I'm doing fine, Elvin. Thank you for having me over again.
Absolutely. Happy that you're here again. And let's get our guest in because you know, Tommy, we work right fast. We get right into it. He is Dr. Michael Webb, and he's the Director of Innovation at Capella University. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy you're here. And Tommy's here from Germany. We're going to have fun. So let's get right into it, Mike. Tell us all about what you do and how do you do it?
Well, thank you. Well, I have the best job in the world. I work at Capella University as the Director of Innovation, which means I work with a small team of experts, and we get to test out new ed tech and AI products looking to improve the learning experience at Capella University and help students achieve even greater levels of success.
Fantastic. And you know, we've had the president on console. She's amazing, and she talked about Capella. But if you could, before I hand it over to Tommy, tell us about the scope of Capella. You know, what's the history, the mission, the scope, students? I mean, 'cause it's pretty wide ranging though at Capella.
Oh, we're very happy to report we have a very vibrant online learning community. We have about 50,000 students that participate with the university at all levels of the educational process, undergraduate, graduate, doctoral level, and we serve to help all students achieve success.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's like I said, 50,000 students. Great. So I'll hand it over to you, Tommy. Go for it.
Nice. Hey, Michael. Nice to meet you. And since it's about academic integrity, I'll ask all the tricky questions like the cheating and the academic misbehavior or misconduct. So maybe as a general question, do you encounter a lot of like academic misconduct in your organization? Like 50,000 students is a lot. So probably there is some of those who don't take it that serious or just like cheat for variety of reason. Do you encounter that? Do you have experience with that?
Well, it is an interesting process with all the changes that are taking place over the last 3 years with AI really has changed higher education, hasn't it? Where we all need to approach the assessment process differently. In some ways, our old ways of assessment, it could be write a 10-page paper about this topic with this many references. But with the advent of AI, what can we do? If we wanted to act in an unethical way, we could take that information, put it into an AI bot and have it write a paper for us. So we know that's present. So we look to find ways that we can use AI as a co-pilot to help students be even better, rather than getting the AI tool to do the work for you, to make the work even better with the ethical use of AI.
All right, that sounds good. But my question then is, how do you draw a fence between the learning where you can apply AI as a tool, as a help, as an aid, versus the exam situation? You said like the old way to assess knowledge. I think there is a variety of ways to assess knowledge, talking about assignments, but also talking about, I don't know, standard e-assessment. Or how do you fence that from the learning experience when it comes to AI? You touched upon the point we talk about all the time. AI changed everything in a very short time. So how do you fence that in a way or try to help them with AI on the one side, but really try to avoid AI help during assessing the knowledge?
Well, to your point, it is sort of a difficult pattern to weave, to thread that needle to do exactly what we want to encourage the ethical use of AI, but discourage the unethical use of AI. But for us, it starts with building a baseline information for students, staff, faculty on AI. What is AI? What is the ethical use? What does that look like? So we have a series of educational programs that are available at no cost to our students and alumni, staff, faculty, leaders. What we call our AI 1000, which is an introduction to generative AI, and AI 2000, which is an intermediate step. So we look to develop that baseline information so they walk out of that course and they say, oh, okay, this is what I can do. And oh my goodness, I don't want to do that because I can't do that because that's going to get me in a world of challenge. So it starts there. And then we embed the ethical use of AI within the curriculum. And an example of that would be with an assessment. We tell them, please use our approved AI tool and use it for your topic, use it for your outline, use it to help you better understand the information. But then within your assessment, within your assignment, tell us what you did, how you did it, what did you learn from it, and rather just blindly say, well, I copied and pasted it from the chat bot and put it into my paper. I critically assess the information, and maybe I developed a new and different prompt to get a better result. So building it into the curriculum is so critical for us.
Did I understand correctly then that you allow AI use while assessing knowledge, but you allow the use of your approved AI, right? That's what you said.
Approved AI within certain limitations. So we have those guardrails. So please use it for your outline, use it for your topic development, use it to find additional resources. Don't use it to write your paper, but use it as a co-pilot, a tool to help you.
I get it. And beside that, do you still see cheating happening on your campus or like your campuses or within your student population? And if, what do you do against it?
Well, unfortunately, there is always going to be unethical behavior. We really can't get around that. Before AI, we would just have unethical behavior with plagiarism. So perhaps it's changed somewhat in the application, but we still have behavior that needs to be corrected. But we look to correct that behavior as a learning experience, a learning opportunity that you made a mistake. Let's learn together how you can prevent from making that same mistake again. So that's our first step, to identify and to use it as a teachable moment.
Nice. Okay, that sounds pretty good. And is there like other ways you think you can go against, like or help even foster maybe what you said, like going back a little bit, but what you said is that it's about like the information of students. We've heard that, Elvin, right? So we've been there that students sometimes unintentionally cheat because they just didn't know, right? So information, I think, is key for that. Have a syllabus, have a description, have like everything public. Maybe have discussion rounds at the beginning of the semester, whatever. Inform students about what they cannot do. Specifically with AI, where it gets complicated, right? But other than that, is there any other ways you think you can mitigate cheating in a way? For example, utilize technology such as e-assessment and randomized questions, or lockdown, or even proctoring, plagiarism, AI detection technology. Is that on your plate? Is that something you utilize or you have to utilize, but you want to get rid of? Or what is your feeling about that?
You have illustrated many different ways of approaching it. And one of the things that we do within the innovation crew, within our learning lab, is we explore various mechanisms to help maintain our ethical behavior. But it's not one size fits all. Each school, each course, we look for the best alternative to meet the needs of that learner population. But again, for us, it really starts with laying the foundation with our AI 1000, AI 2000 classes, and then building the ethical use of AI within the curriculum. So if our community is of a clear mind of this is what I can do with the use of AI, it really leads us to better outcomes. And to your point, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all human. And part of being that human experience is making mistakes. And we use those mistakes as opportunity to improve and learn.
It sounds like a good plan. If you would say, what has been the biggest threat to academic integrity, like the last 5 years? Is that AI? Would you say this changed a lot? Or
it's so interesting the way you framed it. You framed it great, but I wouldn't say a threat. I'd say an opportunity. Because in many ways, AI is changing our world in so many positive ways within education, allowing us to do more for our students, to personalize that educational journey that we've never been able to do as effectively in the past. So it created us to move faster than perhaps we're comfortable with in some ways, but it provided so many opportunities for us to better serve the needs of our student community.
All right, that sounds good. And I just think of discussions we recently had, but since you touched on that point, informing the students, do you also like try to figure out like if someone cheated, what the intention of cheating has been, and just like deep dive a little bit on that to learn from it in a way? Did you do that as well? Because
Absolutely. In some ways, is it a mistake of the head or a mistake of the heart? Does it appear that the student absolutely, I'm intending to cheat. I'm going to take whatever the output is from that AI tool. I'm going to copy and paste it in, and I'm going to say it's my work. Or did I perhaps neglect to use correct citation? I didn't put it into my own words. I didn't inform the faculty member that I was using this tool in this way. So my intention was to act ethically, but I made a mistake. And we can clearly help the student learn from that mistake and move forward and be even more successful.
okay, and maybe one last question is, but if you assess, let me just rephrase, but we've been there. Oh, wait, I need to sort myself. Maybe Elvin, you want to jump in quickly, and I come back with the last question. I need to rephrase it in a way that is understandable.
So Mike, your title I think is super interesting to me. You're director of innovation. I don't see many titles like that in higher ed. Talk to me about the story of that title and the position, and what does that mean to you?
Really, in so many ways, I am blessed. I have the benefit of working with the team within Capella University. You mentioned our president, Constance St. Germain. She is a visionary leader that really puts innovation front and center. Is how can we use ed tech tools or AI tools to reimagine the learning experience for our students? How can we make it a better experience for our students? And we want them to be successful, but we also want them to enjoy their time at Capella University, to have good memories of I loved Capella, and here's why I love Capella. My faculty members went above and beyond to provide the best experience. And what we do on the innovation team is we look to find those solutions, those tools that will help expand the experience and help students better understand course materials to find success.
Talk to me about that process. Talk to us about that process. How do you find these tools? Do they come to you? What's your research like? Tell us about this whole process, because I think that to me is fascinating.
Well, it's kind of like we're always fishing, but we're always looking for that next product, the next tool that would fit nicely in our tech stack. That's going to conferences, whether it be members of the innovation team or just any member of the university. What we really do is say, please, if you find a tool that you think would be a good fit, let us know so we can reach out for that vendor and look to bring it in for a pilot. So we are always looking for new opportunities to pilot new technologies that may make our experience even better. So we're always on the lookout for that next thing that will help us be even more successful. But in addition, we have a very detailed, refined process to bring in a new tool for piloting. We work very closely for accessing the student experience. What was it like for the student to use the tool? Did it help them? Was it intuitive? Did it make sense? Or was it a nightmare using the tool? In addition, and what does it do to the course? Do we find students being more successful within the course overall, more successful in assignments, more engaged in the curriculum because of the activity or the tool? So we really look to see what the impact positively or negatively to that course as we make a decision to continue to pilot or to scale a product. And, in some ways, we love to fail fast. If we bring a product in and it's just not a good fit, not that it's a bad product, it's just not a good fit for our university. We would like to learn that as quickly as we can so we can go into a different direction. But there are so many products that we have found that they were just the perfect fit for us and have really expanded our methods of providing educational experiences to our students.
That's nice.
Yeah, Tom, you want to jump back in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I wanted to ask, back to this AI impact on learning is, there is a general concern that we lose critical thinking or validation abilities. And Did you change the way of like assessing knowledge to encounter that or to tackle it in a way?
Absolutely. I think some initially said this AI thing, it's going to be a flash in the pan. It'll be gone soon. That clearly is not happening, nor should it happen. So how do we adapt the ethical use of AI within our experience? And as I mentioned, one of the ways we do that is within assessments, that we invite students to please use our approved AI tools. Look for a topic, look for an outline, help frame how you're going to approach this assessment. But it doesn't stop there. Once you use that tool and build your overall assignment, we want you to tell us within that assignment, what tool did you use? What was your prompt? What was the outcome? Did you change the prompt? Did you find it effective? And that's where we put that human back in the loop and critically analyze, because we know sometimes AI is going to give us the perfect answer, isn't it? But other
Yeah.
times it's like, how in the world did you get to that end point? So we need to go back in and iterate and say, well, let's approach this from a different perspective. But we want the students to understand that and tell us about their journey in using the tool for this assignment. So it becomes a co-pilot and part of the learning adventure.
No, that sounds good. And I think we know a lot about on how to use AI to really foster learning and improve our learning outcomes. But we also know that there is more effort involved to really assess this critical thinking validation skills because of the human in the loop. You mentioned it. So do you see like a major impact on your capacity because of that, or is that something you can also manage, like because of the more incapacity you might need to put the human back in the loop for such things? So is there an impact in a positive or negative, or is it just neutral?
Oh, I think in a very positive way in ensuring that our faculty are involved and providing that human in the loop and finding ways to ethically use AI within the curriculum. So it supports the curriculum. It doesn't replace the human. It doesn't replace the critical thinking element, but using it in a way that we emphasize that you need to critically analyze any output, any information you're receiving, take it on face value but dig deeper to ensure it's the right answer for this use case.
Yeah, sounds like a good master plan for me, since it triggers learning rather than shortcutting the way to the result, right? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Elvin.
Yeah, Mike, let's talk about the faculty. I've been doing these podcasts for a while, and ever since AI came out, maybe you've heard this too. This is just my initial thoughts. I feel like having AI, and now with how students are using it, how faculty are using it, academic, integrity and misconduct and all that stuff. I feel like it's put a lot more work on faculty. I feel like faculty are like, oh my God, now it's all about process. Whereas before it wasn't so much about like you say, we want to see all this stuff. Seems like a lot more work for the faculty. Am I reading the room wrong? Or what are you reading? What are you seeing? What are your thoughts?
It could go either way. It's really your approach, your selected approach. And we're approaching in a way that we want to use AI as a co-pilot. We want to have it as part of our learning opportunity. So rather than a gotcha, hey, I saw that you unethically used AI. We don't want to, that's not our preferred approach. It's want to be, let's work with you so you understand the ethical use of AI and you learn how to critically apply it in a way that you're critically analyzing that information. So make it easy to do the right thing. Make it harder to cheat.
Gotcha. And then what are you hearing from faculty? What are their needs? What are their wants? What is it that you're hearing from them that say, hey, Mike, we need help with this? What is that?
It's interesting. We have faculty at all ends of the spectrum. Some that embrace and love AI. Some that are really, I'm not really sure about AI. I'm sure both of you are seeing the same thing.
Yes.
So again, it goes back to upskilling, and we upskill with our AI 1000, AI 2000, provide that base level of information for faculty, students, staff, and alumni. In addition, we offer a variety. We're bound at about a dozen workshops each and every quarter where we look to to bring faculty in and workshop different AI tools, different approaches to AI, different approaches to prompt development, different ways to utilize it within the course room. And I think it's so important that they become a partner in this adventure. It's like AI is here. It is not going anywhere. But how many opportunities does it create for us, for our faculty, for our students within the course room? So we really want to change any negative perceptions into opportunities and how to use the tool in the most effective way so the human stays in the loop and we're ethically applying it.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to also talk about is I'm hearing a lot, maybe you are too, where in person you can hide, like you're an in-person student, you can kind of hide in a big classroom, whereas online, because you're all online, you can't really hide as a student in an online scenario. Do you feel as though that's true? What are your thoughts about that? Because that changes, like how you approach turning in your work and how you approach using AI, because you really can't hide. Whereas before, I felt like you could hide in online. Now people are saying, no, 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 you can't hide online, but you can hide in person. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that.
Well, at Capella University, we want to make sure that every student within a class is part of a vibrant culture, part of a community within the class. So I don't know if I'd frame it hide, but we want them actively involved in actively participating and being part of the learning. Because how do we learn best? We learn best by interacting with others and approaching concepts and topics from a variety of perspectives. And that's what happens when you bring a community together.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when it's online, it's not easy to bring a community together in an online environment, although it's getting much better with all the AI tools. So speaking of AI tools and innovation, anything of interest that you're trying out, you're using now, that we have a lot of college presidents that listen to this and a lot of people in higher ed, anything that interest that comes to mind that you're saying, we're really loving this. You don't have to talk about the specific name, but this is something we love. It's been helping us, or something you're looking into, you want to try, you want to fail fast with. Talk to us about that.
One of the areas that we're moving towards is the personalization of learning. We are actively looking at what is the best way that we achieve that goal. If our goal is to provide a customized learning experience for every student, so every student feels that they are special and unique, and we're addressing them in that way, that they feel that the curriculum, the content has been personalized to them. So we're still threading that needle of how best to get there, but that's where we're headed, personalized learning.
All right, great, fantastic. Tommy, anything else on your side?
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. What I would be interested in, back to this course number 1,000 and number 2,000, that sounds pretty nice, because is that a mandatory, like a certification? Any member of education, like it's students, you said, it's faculty, it's maybe organization, back office organization stuff. They all need to run the course, and they all need to run through the course and get certified in a way, or is that what you said?
That was the decision was made by our president that it is a free course available to everyone within our community, staff, alumni, students, faculty, leaders, everyone is invited. So it's free to all of us. Both are 5-week classes. They're back to back. So you can spend a quarter and walk away with a wealth of information. So it is not mandatory, and that was done purposefully, but it is free. So there is no cost to our students, staff, faculty to attend the program.
And do a lot of people take advantage of the course?
Absolutely. It's one of our most
Absolutely. All right.
popular classes. Would you like to come? Come on in. We'll get you signed up.
Very good. Yeah, I was just wondering, because exactly that you share the knowledge, so it's for free, but very, very nice. Good to know. I keep that on top of my head. Very good.
So Mike, I love hearing these stories about how you got to where you are, and I would love to hear your higher ed story. How did you get to be the director of innovation at Capella University? What's your story?
Well, I've been with Capella University for 15 years. My first 10 years, I was on the faculty side, working within courses, helping learners, and that got me more into using different ed tech tools, being involved in that area. That led to academic leadership, and then from academic leadership, it led me back into ed tech and innovation. So that's my journey, 15 years, and I'm still having fun.
Yeah, you sound like it too. I love the energy. That's fantastic. I love that. Tommy, any last questions before I ask my last question?
I'm good. I
Okay.
think
All right.
I learned a lot again, so thank you for that, Mike.
All right. So Mike, before I ask you the last question, talk about what's going to happen at Capella with the innovation team in the next 5, 10 years. What are you all focusing on? And I'll ask you the last question, but I want to know what's the focus on? What are you seeing around the corner that maybe nobody else is seeing when it comes to innovation, academic integrity, and things like that?
It's going to be about personalization. How do we personalize it for each individual student? So each student understands how special and unique they are, and we meet them as an individual member of our community. How are we going to get there? I'm not sure yet, but we're going to get there. And that's why we continue to test and evaluate numerous AI tools, numerous ed tech tools, trying to find how we get to that end goal.
Love it. Love it. Okay, great. And I've noticed that you use AI as a co-pilot. You mentioned the word co-pilot a lot, which I love. So I'm assuming that's going to be part of your answer to my last question to you. What do you see as the future of higher education?
You know my answer. It's like you knew it. My answer is that AI is going to be a part of our learning. It's going to be our co-pilot. We're going to work in collaboration with AI, not taking the human out of the loop, but emphasizing the human in the loop and ensuring that we use it in an ethical way, not only within academics, within our academic experience pursuing our degree, but in our professional role, that we're taking the ethical use or using it as a co-pilot. We're moving from academia into a professional world where it's the same expectations that we're going to use it ethically, we're going to use it responsibly. We're going to critically analyze any output before we use it within our business.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I love the co-pilot phrase. I think that's fantastic. That's really cool. So thank you so much. It's been a great conversation. Let me outro my co-host. He is Thomas Betts, CEO at Integrity for Education. Tommy, thank you as always.
Thank you, Elvin. Thank you, Michael, for this great conversation. And again, there was a lot of learning today. There was a refreshing perspective on the use of AI, ethical use of AI, and personalization of learning. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's your guest today. He is Dr. Michael Webb, and he's the Director of Innovation at Capella University. Mike, thank you so very much for being with us today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. All right, and I have the application for AI 1000. I'm sending it to you right now. So I expect to see those applications filled out today.
Oh, I love it. It'll be in the show notes too. We'll put it in the show notes so anybody who's interested, they can check that out. I love it. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You've just EdUp. Thanks for listening to this uninterrupted conversation as part of our academic integrity series brought to you by Integrity for Education. Integrity for Education supports your institution by unlocking the full potential of digitalization through the right mix of software solutions, strategic consulting, and sustainable implementation of state-of-the-art technologies. Learn more at integrityforeducation.de. That's integrity, the number 4, education.de.